Is this a witch hunt or reality show called Dead and Beaten Diets? Is this a witch hunt or reality show called Dead and Beaten Diets? Yeah. Hi everybody. Hopefully, that everyone is trying to um, digest uh, what I communicated yesterday. Um, I know it's kind of rushed. I know that there are a lot of dates. I know there's a lot of substance and moving parts to the story that I am trying to communicate. However, today what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down where there is a chronological log of events, and subsequent to this video I will go through each date and explain particulars on substance and language and verbiage confirming what it is I am trying to convey to the intelligence. These type of investigations are complicated, and there are a number of agencies that are involved, and there are a number of personnel that are involved. If I'm mentioning your name, especially if I'm mentioning your name in where there are allegations that I have against you, you are to be concerned. If there are names that I'm mentioning that are witnesses, any name that I put out here on this post is that I want the government to know, that is state and federal government to know, that those parties' names, those names and those parties are to be backstopped. If you're in a federal agency, you know exactly what that means. And I need not elaborate on that because it is terminology that you know what a particular and what it means. This case that I have unfortunately but fortunately am involved in, unfortunately because it's unfortunate that we have people that exist that support these type of issues. It's fortunate that I'm involved because, for one, I am not intimidated in any way. I am not unfamiliar with what it is that I'm speaking on. I am not knowledgeable about the substance of what I'm speaking on. I am not in any kind of way fabricating any parts of what I am conveying. If there is something that I am conveying, I will let you know. If it is something that I'm unsure about, or if it can be interpreted to be admissible through the use of discrete math, integers, graphs, statements of logic. This statement that I make is not something that is going to be discriminatory. It is not going to be something that's being conveyed to intentionally harm, vex, injure, or any party that it is relative to. It is not something that I am doing as an intentional means to slander or libel anyone. If I do make statements, and any statements that are not supported by the factual sufficiency, and that it is something that I'm making as my opinion, as a member of 3 protected classes, then it is admissible after consideration of what those 3 protected classes are. Chronologically, the events that I am going to reference is going to assist in aiding the intelligence community and deciphering and being able to research and do all the necessary requirements, gathering of the facts to be utilized, and what other processes that may occur or may be pending. I made allegations yesterday that each allegation that I made, it is something that is to be taken seriously. I believe it. It is something that it needs to be thoroughly investigated. It is something that can be easily determined at the consideration of the true facts, which all the facts that are included are true. It is something that I believe. It is something that I know. It is a address on specifics relative to our national security, where the 45th President of the United States is the nucleus and driving force behind what I believe the reason that it has occurred. For clarity, we're going to start with just from the start of the commencement of fuckery, the identification period of bullshit, the identification of parties and personnel that and businesses that are to be meticulously looked at with scrutiny. It is something that is a concern for our environment. However, around the turn of the century, I was not living in the state of Texas. Okay, the turn of the century, 2000. At that time, is that I was living near the nation's capital, where I lived not far from within sight of the Pentagon, and that my job at that time was my job at that time was working in a location near the Pentagon. I'm just gonna leave it like that, okay? Um, and that um, Hayes Street, Arlington, Virginia, and if it's the agencies that are have a fiduciary duty to inquire about what I'm saying in specifics. You are to use your resources to and knowledge and ability to research the background if you are able and have access to certain information which may not be privy to the general public. Okay, in a nutshell, okay, moving forward from 2000, on about 2004, I enrolled in vocational rehabilitation program at the Department of Veteran Affairs, where I was interested in continuing education, and my choice of study was DeVry University in the campus in Irving, Texas. At that time, I lived in Dallas. At that time, I, of course, was not married. At that time, I wanted to relocate to a residence where I was near the campus because I didn't go to school. At that time, I packed up and moved to relocate to Irving, Texas. I moved into the Terrace and Brookstone Apartments in Irving, which is located just northwest, on the northwest corner and southeast of the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport corridor, at the intersection of George Bush Turnpike and Northgate Drive, which was an apartment complex where runway 35R at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, the runway that's farthest from the terminals, which is the landing zone where usually if there are important dignitaries like George Bush, who has a house in Highland Park in Dallas, well, every now and then he flies into DFW. A lot of times he normally flies into Louisville. Well, when he flies into DFW, that airport, that runway will be the one usually that the jet that's coming in, ascending from the airspace into the airport, would land. In the Terrace and Brookstone Apartments, I lived in building 3724, right adjacent across the walkway or driveway in that apartment complex, building 3712. In 2010, the latter end of 2010, building 3712 had a fire, and a lot of people in that building, including a good friend of mine, were relocated to other apartment complexes that was in the general vicinity, because the apartments at that time was managed by Westdale Asset Management, who was a defendant in this case that I had that was filed on January 6th of 2016, where there were 5 parties to that action, and in that action there was a management company by the name of Westdale Asset Management, who was the same management company that was managing the Terrace and Brookstone Apartments at the time of this bomb that was found and an apartment that was where or that was located within the located in the landing coordinate, which is from my definition and what was described to the bankruptcy court judge, as well as the United States court judge, where United States court case, U.S. District Court case that I had brought against Westdale Asset Management, which was filed initially in 2014. Okay. There were two cases. Okay. The first case that was filed was dismissed. Okay, where it was filed during, I want to say, June of 2014, and where the parties were Station 3700 apartment homes in all parties, which the petition amount in that case was $10 million. It initially was $10,000. I initially filed it in Judge Curnock's court and the Justice Court at Precinct 2 in Arlington. And upon commencement of an eviction that was filed against me in 2014 by the Butler Parish Apartments, this is subsequent to being evicted in Irving. Okay, back up, I missed a part. In Irving on June 5th of 2011, Precinct 2, Justice of the Peace Court in Irving, Judge Katie Hubener was the judge who evicted me on June 5th of 2011. And at the same time, I moved. I just, I was really, I had been there for 7.5 years, hadn't had a lease violation or anything like that. But however, when Westdale took over, and subsequent to this cab driver getting arrested, which occurred on Sunday, May 22nd of 2011. Scared everybody, okay? But the scary part here is that when I initially noticed that the same guy that was arrested in 2011, which was initially reported to Department of Homeland Security in 2008, where the explosive device, or what I believe to be explosive material, what I saw and witnessed 3 foreign nationalists exit an apartment building carrying it. Okay, I made mention to the apartment management company, and just for extra assurance that I had reported to the appropriate personnel, I followed up with notification to DHS, Department of Homeland Security, where I didn't hear anything really about it until May 22nd. It came back to reality subsequent to the party that moved from 3712, Sharif Noor, who was charged by Dallas County prosecutors for possession of prohibited weapons in his apartment. Okay, Sharif Noor was my neighbor for quite a while. He was a loner. He didn't really talk to anybody, just like it said in the newscast. I it's suspected that something was not all the way. Basically, his elevator didn't go all the way up. Okay, but however, that doesn't disqualify for him from being employed or working. But however, in 2014, subsequent to this eviction case, where after I was living at the Blessed Paris Creek Apartments, where I initially moved in that apartment complex on or about April 1st of 2013, where I signed a 12-month lease contract for tenancy, which obviously was from April 1st of 2013 due to expire on May 31st of 2014. During the latter end of December of 2013, while I was living at the Blessed Paris Creek Apartments, the Blessed Paris Creek Apartments went into tax forfeiture, which I didn't learn until subsequent to my inquiry as to what the fuck was going on with these people that was there, who had apparently had did a lot of fucked up things to a lot of the tenants there, and that the major commissioner of the fight, it didn't really become to light of the severity of its existence until they made the first move by evicting me. Okay, they filed for eviction on about April 12th of 2014, and this is after being refused, them refusing me a application to renew the lease. If you recall, maybe some videos between myself and another and the manager at that apartment location, where her name was Rosa, who was a bitch and a racist bitch, very racist on how they did everyone. Okay, from 2013, from April, starting from April to August. Okay, although I had just signed a lease. Okay, from April to August, there's no record of who the management was. And on August 2nd of 2014, the comptrollers for the public accounts for at the Texas comptrollers placed the property at 3700 Post Oak Boulevard into tax failure to pay tax obligations. On about August 21st of 2013, Threshold Paradise LP, who were very deceptive in their ownership or operation of the property, incorporated around about late September, early October, a management company, Westdale Asset Management, who I had already dealt with at the previous apartment location. And that at that location, this risk management director, who I had spoke with before in Irving, who pretended to be my friend but kicked me out the very next week. After the cab driver was arrested, which was, they discovered the bomb May 22nd. The very next week, this risk management director filed for eviction, or the direction, by his direction to the management, filed for eviction after overcharging me for rent. Okay, defaulting my lease agreement by charging costs to my rent balances, which out of the 7.5 years that I lived there were never ever a part of any lease agreement or something that I was not entitled to pay to them. Basically, what they did was somehow they found reason to feel that I was liable to them to pay utility costs, which I was not. I already had my utility company. All right, and they defaulted me. The judge, of course, didn't listen. An eviction case is a summarized proceeding, which means that it is only one chance that you have to go. A case is commences, and you appear for trial. There's no other actions that you could bring in conjunction with that. Okay, it's summarized proceeding. Okay, and the only argument in an eviction case under Texas law is who has the greater right to possession of the premises. Seeing as though that they felt that I owed utility costs, and you got a fucking dumbass judge over here, Katie, she signed an eviction order. I didn't argue with them because 2 days after May 22nd, a hailstorm came, producing great size hail, which knocked all the windows out of everybody's apartment. It damaged my brand new Honda, for which at the time I had two Honda Civics, where the second Honda Civic was in the parking lot on 2 days afterwards when the hailstorm started. The other one was in the shop. Okay, so no damage occurred. It was just brand new, but it looked like someone had took a shotgun, boom, 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 and had holes everywhere from all the hail that was falling. Okay, June 5th, I moved out. Didn't have a apartment already picked out for me to move into, which is the biggest mistake of my life. Okay, I moved out of the apartment complex instead of appealing the trial de novo to county court, challenging for which I should have, because there were a cost to lease agreement that were not conditions of the rental contract, where clearly it should have been dismissed. Okay, and the justice courts in the state of Texas, hearsay evidence is admissible. Okay, hearsay evidence is. So basically, there's a 95% chance that if you bring a eviction case against anyone in the state of Texas, that under the rules, even though that all other laws, with the exceptions of the rules of evidence, is recognized by the justice is supposed to be recognized by the justice court, but without the rules of evidence, okay, it is merely impossible to beat an eviction case in Texas. With that, most people, once they go past the first level of an eviction case, they just either, if they don't win in the justice court, which is 95% chance that you are going to lose, they move. Okay, which is what I did. They moved. I moved. You want to talk about the biggest nightmare ever? Okay, I was moving around. My income, I had a small business that I operated from my apartment, which I couldn't maintain adequate income enough to be able to afford to live in a place that was not fit for adequate living, and which costed me having to basically just get in where I could fit in for a period of from June 5th all the way until December 12th of 2000. 2011 is when I was fortunate enough to receive a housing choice voucher program, and that way I wouldn't have to live in hotels. Um, Initially, I lived with my dad. Uh, During the move in, let's see, okay, the Postal East, or the Postal Departments, uh, from that January all the way up until uh, it was December 12th. On this, the same day that President Obama, at the on December 12th, if I'm correct, December 12th of 2012, um, there was a week prior there was a shooting at Newtown where the kid went in school and was shooting up the school, and where the teacher hit the kids in the closet and they lived. I was talking about that. Well, on December 12th, there just minutes before President Obama's speech was to start, I had I can't remember her name. It was my neighbor across the hallway from me, and another friend of mine, Shaquille Jemison, that were visiting me on this evening just before the speech started. 4 gunmen ran into my apartment, and they placed Leah and Shaquille on the floor face down. They had they wanted me to get down. I'm not going to get down. I got down all right, and so I commenced to kicking their ass, period. And I had a firearm where Shaquille was sitting on the couch. The firearm, one of the firearms that was in that room, well, knowing I didn't let hardly nobody ever sit there because that's my spot, okay? And but he was sitting there at that time, so I couldn't get to it. But I had another firearm in my bedroom, but one of the gunmen that had Leah on the floor with the gun to the back of her head, and Shaq was on the floor also, and went into the bathroom, and somehow I ended up to where I had 2 of them in the bathroom, and from the physical confrontation, those 2 that was in the bathroom were laying in the tub. And when I came out, the other one, we had a slight confrontation. I was able to get my firearm off of the dresser, and then that's when all the commotion started. The whole apartment got fucked up. Okay, I was not dying. I'm not finna. And so basically, after I got into my room, I mean, this apartment was fucked off. The 4 guys ran out of the apartments. I chased them all the way to the front gate, and somehow they jumped in the cars and left. And I went back to check on them. At that time, from all the commotion in the apartments, the Fort Worth Police Department, Euless, on Post Oak and Euless, there is where we lived was you step one direction, you're in Grand Prairie. You step the other direction, you're in Arlington. You step the other direction, you're in Irving. Okay, even though Post Oak Road is in Euless, well, that's a little section I don't know how it is possible, but the Fort Worth, that's jurisdiction of Fort Worth, and the Fort Worth Police Department, but they didn't patrol that area. The Fort Worth Police Department did. So by the time the police were responding, and after I got back into my apartment, made sure that Leah and Shaq was all right, which um, police department came. They subsequent at that time they wanted to evict me, where they lost the eviction case twice. And after the first time, the judge was like, okay, well, I told the court, I told the judge, I'm trying to think of what the judge's name was. It's not, it was before the judge, right before Judge Mary Curnow in Arlington Precinct 2. However, I told the judge, I said, it doesn't matter, Your Honor. They can have their apartment, even though they have to come in and try to fix all the damages from what occurred from when the gunman went in there. And now I fought him. And so I moved from there, Postal East Apartments, up the street, 2 apartment complexes up the street to the Blessed Prairie Creek Apartments. At that time, subsequent to the tax thing, when they knew a house flipping maneuver, okay, this guy named Chandler Little, who is a associate with Donald Trump, was, if you remember back a couple months ago, there was the video that I showed where this guy Chandler Little was on his way to the apartments. I told everyone to just disregard what he was saying, but I wanted you to look at the background of the scenery in the back. Well, part of the video is in Euless, coming down Trinity Railway, Trinity Boulevard, okay, and then there's a cut in the film, and then it shows a big old mountain, which is in Idaho, where Chandler Little lives. Chandler Little had this guy, I guess he was supposed to be some Billy Badass or whatever, but this motherfucker was a nuisance, okay? And what they did was, they were going around from apartment to apartment forcing people out, okay? This kid, I'm going to show the video later, where there was an ice storm and the roads were caked up with ice. I'm walking down at the time that they was in the early part of December, where this bitch Rosa, who was trying to default me on my lease, was trying to make me pay over and over and over. Well, that was an attempt on the run gas station that's right there at Trinity Boulevard and Post Oak Boulevard, where I normally would buy the money orders for my rent, okay? On the 3 days that they were trying to avoid me and lure me out of my apartment, and they were trying to get me to meet this person, who his name was Kevin, but in their reality show, he had a reality show by the name of Jace, Jace, Juliet Alpha Charlie Echo, Jace. That was his name, okay, in the video, in the reality show, okay. His job was to downstream everyone, okay. He would go from apartment to apartment, they would go from building to building and force everyone out. And what they did was, a lot of people that was there subsequent to the takeover of Trump's organization, who they were paid them cash on the spot to vacate their apartments. Basically, this group of people you saw in the video where they were trying to intimidate everybody to move out. Well, these group of people, they had cleared a lot of people out, okay? But when it got down to the point where there started to be some resistance, okay? The resistance started is when they wanted to kick out this other girl, Tanya Jackson, and her family in February, who Tanya gave Trump's people $2,400, and 3 days later they kicked her out. Where this bitch Rosa tells the judge, Judge Pearson, over the county court law in Tarrant County, county court law number 1. After she evicts her, which the eviction case took place late in the afternoon on this, I think it was like February 13th or 14th, something along that. But no, as you were. I think yeah. Just look it up. Attorney, the Bloods Parish Department versus Attorney Jackson. That's the date. Okay, this is subsequent to her giving them $2,400 out of an income tax check to stay there. They took the money and still told her to get out. Okay. When the judge asked her when it was that they wanted her out, normally in Texas, in an eviction proceeding, by specialized and summarized proceeding, you only get 5 days to appeal that eviction, or you may appeal the Justice Court's ruling to a trial de novo to county court of law. You post a supersedeas bond. Okay. Well, and Tanya, she appealed the court case, but however, because the mom had to saving her, because Rosa wanted her out that night before midnight. She had a 2-bedroom apartment. All her families had 2 kids. Okay. And when they did move her out, she was living in the gas station down the street. It was hot as fuck. As you were. It was cold because it was February. It was cold, and then they were living in the gas station, living outside the gas station. Right. It was. And so during that time, I had a month left. She was probably like one of the very last people that occupied an apartment with Bloods Parish Apartments. This is subsequent to them moving everybody out upon the commencement of 2014. Alright, when it got down to me, I had already given written notice as per the standard TAA lease agreement. It requires that if you want to renew or extend your lease, you have to give them a written notice that you want to renew the lease. Okay, if the in accordance to Texas Property Code 24.7, Rule 25 or 24.7, if the apartment is property is purchased in tax forfeiture, and there's a lease that's standing lease agreement. Under Texas law, the new owner is required to give a 30-day notice of any reason to vacate. All right. So now, let's take it back 1 month, 2 months. December of 2013. This bitch Rosa tried to default me on my lease. And on December 12th of 2013, I called this motherfucker over here, Thomas King, where there's an audio recording of that phone call between me and Thomas King, where it was left and understood that Thomas King was supposed to get back to me the next day or so, if you recall that. Okay, next day or so never came. In fact, now they're going to take all this extra money from me. Okay, Christmas is right around the corner. Everyone's going home. Shit. Okay, shit to stay fucked up. Right, where the Fort Worth Housing Authority put the property into abatement. Okay, they abated the property. Technically, I really didn't owe me the rent because it was in abatement. Alright, but I wasn't going to remain on the housing program because December, I was going to remain in the housing program, but I still had the income to stay there, okay? And I had already given written notice that I wanted to remain there, okay? And they had given me notice already through fuckery, and after uh, uh, retaliation from when Thomas King was going to call me back in December the next day or so, uh, the next, after the beginning of the year, when all these complaints started rolling into their desk, and Rose retaliated and told me to get out, okay? And so still at that time, I'd already paid my rent. Well, the order was from the risk management director after I talked to him, as you can heard in the conversation in the audio, where that he was going to order Rosa to return the money back to me that she owed, that she overcharged me for through fuckery, bullshit, trying to default me, and I wasn't going to let it go. But I paid my rent so that way, that because I wanted to do it correctly, okay? Even though that after he said that she was going to pay it back, a month and a half after that, then after he was trying to still default me because didn't credit it until mid-February, okay? After they saw that there was a problem. All right, so March 31st comes around, my lease expires. There's no word as to whether they were going to renew the lease, okay? However, it was the decision of the bitch named Rosa that they was going to go ahead with the holdover, as stated in the lease. If you hold over on your lease, then by virtue of the lease, then they are eligible or authorized under the TAA standard TAA lease contract for Texas to charge you 25% prorated. Okay, you got the prorated. You got the 25% of the monthly rent cost. In addition, 25% of the prorated rate of the monthly rent cost. Additionally, and then any other costs, if you don't pay that 25% in addition to your rent, well, every day subsequent to that time expiration, after the third or fourth, whatever it was, there's $10 cost. All right, so basically, even though mine was paid and they owed me, they sued me for holdover, okay? But under Texas Tax Code 171.156, I believe, I spoke about that last night. If you are a company in the state of Texas, operating in the state of Texas, you cannot defend or sue in the Texas court, okay? So Trump's people go in there and they sue me. Now, this is all the time now. They're operating a special paradise. According to Texas Business and Commerce Code, if you have a business and that your business, it has to have the name, but they had somebody else's name. The only way that you're going to be able to find them is you have to play goddamn Magnum PI. You need to be a special agent to find out who these motherfuckers were. Only thing you knew that there was a management company. Under Texas law, the management company is not responsible for damages, from the way I understand it. Okay, so basically they can go in there and fucking and fuck your shit up for the owners. Where when you bring cases like I did against them, the management company was the only party that showed up. All the rest of the other owners that was named and listed as being responsible and owners of the apartment complex never showed up or answered. All the service and process units for is the CT Corporation, which is well known all over the United States, where what they do is process service. In Texas, you have different types of registration. You can register under like sole partnership, limited partnerships. That it depends on who, in order to sue them, uh, and in order to own property here, you have to have what's called a principal address for a physical person, physical address within this state. Okay, if you don't have a home office here, you can have a registered agent like CT Corporation. Okay, that do service process. Well, there was no registered agent for these people. Okay, the registered agent had expired. So who the fuck is the owners? All right, so if you recall the conversation between me and Rosa on April 12th of 2014, there was an argument where I told her, I said, look, bitch, okay, of 2014, where by law they fucked up. Okay, you can't sue. You have to give me at least 30 days to move by law. Okay, if you are the new owner and you didn't want to renew your lease, that's Texas law. Period. Okay, but you sued me April 12th, so you lose. You did that. All right, so since though they were in violation of the law, when it came down time for the commencement of the eviction proceeding, okay, they filed a civil action. I was served civil actions by the sheriff, and upon being serviced by the sheriff, I did exactly what statute requires. Okay, whenever you receive a civil citation, you answer. Filed my answer, went to court. My cousin Derek Wilder drove over to pick me up. And remember last night I told you I didn't really feel comfortable on letting people know when I moved. Okay, at that time, the two Hondas I had, the one that was I had bought in Irving, and which was destroyed in a hailstorm. Well, in April of 2012, yeah, I purchased a car. No, as you were. I purchased a car on December 14th of 2011. 2011. Or what's it? No. 2012. 2011. Because I was still living in the terrace. I got kicked out in June. So 2011. That's when I purchased it. December 14th, as you were, April 14th of 2011. In 2012, April 2012, a friend of mine, Omar Thomas, his father passed away in San Diego, and they didn't. He was going to rent a car, and for some reason there was a fuck up with the rental agreement. So I said, "Fuck that! I got a car." You know, I mean, it had dings all over from hail damage, but I had a car. And that car that we rode in, it was repossessed. I would say around there about September of 2011, while I was without a place to stay. So basically, from June to December of 2011, until I got housing trust voucher, I was living place to place, this and another. Okay, for a minute I was living in Omar's place in Arlington, and until they located me and picked the car up. Okay, well I had another car. Okay, so you picked that up, but I went and filed bankruptcy. But when I initially filed bankruptcy, after they took it, I filed Chapter 7, which that doesn't get the car back. So I had the bankruptcy converted to Chapter 13, which is reorganization. Alright, after I filed and had the bankruptcy converted, they had to get the car back. But when they get the car back, there was a lot of fucking damages to the car. Omar and I and his nephew, Charles Thomas, who's from Detroit, which is where they were from. Flint, no, Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan, that's where it's from. We drove out to San Diego, okay, when they didn't want to rent to Omar the rental car. I said, okay, this is what we're going to do. Everybody drive a tank of gas. That's how we got there. So we made it from Arlington to San Diego in 23 hours. Okay, I'm going to drive the first tank. And Omar and Charles, they will drive the next two tanks and say, I'm driving across the desert. Yeah, because you know time was not going to hit it. So we scattered. So that fucking Honda was fucking flying. So when we get to California, round about, I guess, Calexico or Mexicali, or I-10, going to get up on I-5 to go north. The car beginning to start to sway. When we shift lanes, like the wheels were about to fucking fall off. We were threatening wheel separation. They did a lot of damages to the car. So basically, I kind of just eased it down, and we did make it to San Diego, and we were stuck in a hotel, and my Aunt Velma, who had a Honda, which I think that she paid for it. I don't know if she did or not, whatever it was, but I'm quite sure that she did, because I did a good thing to bring them out there. And Omar had given me a place to stay at the time I didn't have a place to stay. And so this is my aunt. That's how people, my mom's sister, I have a very good character roots. Okay? But look out. Only when it's time, that's the only. They're not gonna look out for you, for the fucking bullshit at all. Right? If you're a troublemaker, you're one of those that don't look for no assistance from them, because they're not gonna help you. Okay? But for this scenario, it was for a good deed. My aunt did make coordination, and she made sure that we got to the funeral. Took the drivers back and forth while the car was in the shop. The car was in the shop 6 days. We had to pay all this fucking money. Alright? Get out there, fucking contract, which some of you may have remember last 2020, when I was suing Wells Fargo. Okay, well, from that time when we were out there, the CPI program, Collateral Protection Insurance, which was a program that Wells Fargo was ordered to pay all this money by the bankruptcy court, because they had deceptively engaged into fraudulent activity. Well, that contract that was supposed to fix the car, it didn't work. Okay, so basically we would have been fucked. Okay, if it hadn't been from my aunt, which I believe is who paid for it. She didn't never say she did, but I think that she did. Okay, and even if she didn't, it got paid for it, and she helped us out while we was out there. So, needless to say, we come back to Arlington. At that time, I'm living at Post Oak East Apartments, prior to the Blessed Parish Creek Apartments. I'm going down the 360 in Arlington one day. So, I guess it was October. Well, Honda repaired the car. My brakes just failed all of a sudden. So, needless to say, I'm driving down the 360. If you ever roll with me, you probably know that I'm not a slow driver. Okay, in fact, you're gonna get there fucking very fast, you know. So, I have a bad habit of speeding. Okay, and but however, we on 360, I get off on the highway. The car rolls down the runway, and I had no choice to run down the service road and I couldn't go into the apartment complex, but I had no brakes. All right, and when we get to 360 Park Road, there's a turn on the bridge. So I got two passengers. At that time, I said I can either turn around, I can either try to take the curve to spin back around on the bridge. I had no brakes, like a fucking skateboard. So, but I had to stop the car. So I crashed the car over a median. And when the car landed, the front tire popped off. So the car was taken to Vandergrift Collision Center. And it was my choice to send it there. The Arlington Police Department sent it there. So, long story short, that car stayed there from the time I moved from between me relocating to a different apartment complex from close to the East Apartments to West Paris Creek, where me and Honda were in litigation over this car, Limelon complaint, okay, which eventually Trump's people stole it and took it to the auction, hocked it, just like they did my truck, just like they did my 370Z. They did. These companies, they'll look for anything they can to get downstream. Now back to this fucker, Chandler Little. In the Ice Storm video, it says Winter Storm video, you're going to see at the very end of the video, as I am walking down Post Oak Boulevard on my way to go get this fucking money order that Rosa had tricked me into going and buy. You can hear me. I'm gonna meet someone walking, coming up to me, because I'm at the same time I'm just video, just just bullshitting, just walking, seeing all the dumbasses trying to get up Post Oak Boulevard and all this big ass fucking thick shit of ice. I meet this person walking on the sidewalk. That instance of them a government tool to lure me out of my apartment, where they were trying to get into my apartment, where I told you several times that I had left my apartment and I came back there with damages shit in the apartment. They poured water in my TV, broke my computers, all that. Right, they did. And but this motherfucker, Jace, who was a good friend of this Chandler Little, where Jace was supposed to be, I guess, the fucking Klansman's little fucking tool to sell out. He claimed he knew all this, how to fight and all this kind of bullshit. Well, he was intimidating people to move out, and if he didn't move out, he was going to fight some people. And there's a lot of people that he fought over there at their direction to push these people out of their apartment, force them into leaving. On the video where you saw those gang of people that was in those apartments, well, kicked me out. Well, I had initially filed a $10,000 case, and I tried to learn more about who these fucking people were. I said, nah, I'm gonna have to sue you for a lot more money. So that case was dismissed by Judge Carnot, and so I went over to the U.S. District Court and I paid the filing fee and sued him. The case number is 4:140337-Y. 4:0337-Y. 4:14-0337-Y. It was in Judge Terry Means' court. Judge Terry Means is the senior justice now. Okay. However, that case stayed open several times because I was trying to effectuate service on these companies where I couldn't substantiate their identities. They didn't have registered agent for service process, so it was very complicated. And then, of course, on top of that, I, as a pro se litigant, didn't really know what the fuck was going on because I had to read on how the process goes. So basically, everything, these legal processes, is all trial and error. So that case got dismissed on the beginning 2015. Okay, but at that time, on December 4th of 20 on December 4th, 2014. Fortunately, subsequent to me filing bankruptcy, and when the Judge D. Michael Lynn, who said the Judge Lynn says that you're the biggest deadbeat in America. Which I agree with him. You are the biggest deadbeat in America. I think Judge Lynn said that trying to see if I actually knew at that time that the property that I was fighting in the bankruptcy court, because when they sued me on April 12th, the only other way that I could get them to stop the writ of possession from moving forward was to file bankruptcy that I knew of. Okay, when I filed bankruptcy and had appealed the eviction in the County Court of Law No. 1 and went to the Second Court of Appeals. And that case was appealed, and it was case number 02-16-00232-Charlie Victor. Okay, that case was also petitioned for review in the 0037 Michael Wilson versus Wilson Parish Creek Apartments in Texas Supreme Court was appealed in the case. Once a eviction case is filed, and once you lose possession of the premises, it's moot. Right? And that's the only argument in the eviction case is who had the greater right to possession. If they get you out of there, which they did, they came in over there and they threw my fucking property out in the rain. Fortunately for me, just so happened, I had filed for a disability increase with the Department of Veterans Affairs, and my disability went up after evaluation, and we were trying to determine if I was crazy or anything like that, because I was started fighting them. If you're calling the video for the eviction, this Chandler Little, he said, well, some reason this guy, he's kind of weird, got approval to stay and all this, and we are going to go down here and see what it is. Yeah, they was trying to lure me out of my apartments to this guy, Jace, who would jump on me. During July of 2014, there was a call to the Fort Worth Police Department because there was a fight in the parking lot where this guy, Jace, came over, and he was basically trying to intimidate me. And Shaq, who was leaving my apartment, was going to go jump into this car that I had purchased, a convertible Z. I purchased a convertible Z, and that's where I found calls that August a year prior to go and put a car in. However, Jace was supposedly was gonna jump on me, and what happened was he was with four other guys. It was all in the car. They were stalking my apartment. Okay, the same set of guys that had went around to each apartment intimidating everybody. Well, when Jace came over to me and wanted to fight, okay, well, fine. I just threw my keys on top of my roof, and when he ran up, I kicked him over the hood of my car. Now, I'm not lying. Ask Shaquille Jimerson, he'll tell you. I launched his motherfucking ass. And when he got off the ground, he lifted his shirt up, tried to see, and I guess he probably thought some ass, oh, that looked like it fucking hurts. And he came again. This time I kicked him a foot in. And we were in between the two cars. I said, come on, let's back it out in the middle of the parking lot. So when we got to the middle of the parking lot, pain started to set in. He would move. I said, next time you come around me again, I'm gonna fucking, your ass is never gonna get up off the ground. So, needless to say, there are other idiots that was in the car that was with him. Women yellow bellies, they didn't get out. In fact, they left him laying there in the parking lot and drove past him, hauled ass. So I didn't see this Jace kid for a long time. All right, when my apartment, the day that sheriff came and threw my shit out in the rain, the second court of appeals, they had it stayed because, for one, I was still under bankruptcy protection until February of 2015. So basically, what you did, Trump, was not only did you come across a stay by the state court, you came across while I was still protected by bankruptcy. So that means that you have violated and committed a criminal offense. On top of that, you did to a person with disability. Did in the rain. Case law in the state of Texas, Marshall versus San Antonio Housing Authority. You cannot kick nobody in the rain and during inclement weather. Look it up, case law. So you fucked. Okay, so you owe. On that same day, subsequent to December 4th, President Barack Obama, you can look it up, he came on the news. He says, do not give in to terrorism. This is after they had figured out. Don't give in to terrorism. All I needed was 2 days to move. But however, the back pay I had gotten from the VA on that same day, which bounced through the mail. Kind of trying to play games, because when the government gives you money, they're going to make sure that you get it. There's no way that they're going to know where you are, and you are going to get it. It's just you. Nobody else can get it. They're not going to release it or anything like that. They'll play games with it until they pinpoint you and then get it to you. So needless to say, that payment didn't show up until December 23rd of 2014. Where on that December 23rd, I went out and bought a brand new car. For a brand new 2014, December 23rd. I bought a brand new 2015 370Z. It was white, a white, pearl white. Okay, I drove, and this is subsequent to 2 other Zs that I had. Okay, but I drove that Z from January to June. But then in June was when stuff started being real fishy. I switched cars, so they were thrown off. And they had a white one, I got a black one. Okay, so they didn't, dumbasses, they looked for a white car when it was a black car. Okay, well, if you recall, in 2018, I was talking about my friend Courtney, I'm not going to get into what their financial issue was, but he apparently had quite a bit of cash somewhere, and that but he's like a magnet for trouble. And then when he found out that I was able to argue on his behalf, it just seemed like trouble kept happening on and on and on and on. But however, subsequent to January 6th of 2016, where Trump was serving a citation from a case I filed against him in the 144th Judicial District Court in Tarrant County. The case number is 141-283-108-16. Again, it's 141-283-108-16. It's before Judge I can't remember his, it'll come to me in a minute. However, what the hell is his name? Chuck. Just Chuck. Chuck's court. Okay. 141-283-108-16 was filed January 6th, 2016, where Trump's organization was served. They never showed up. The Blessed Parish requirement, if you recall, a audio recording from November of 2014, where this fucker down there in Georgia, Philip Kennedy, who was reportedly the owner of the Blessed Parish Apartments, who was registered as a domestic partnership, where his registration was wrong. If you're going to have principal office for office address in Georgia, then you have to have a foreign registration. You don't. You have domestic, which means domestic means they're local. Which means it was proper. So basically, everything that he brought also was notwithstanding. He really also brought notwithstanding because he was in tax force. Okay, where Trump's coming into all these people while they're in tax force. So needless to say, whether you are able to prove or not that election fraud or his election interference, he can never ever refute the fact that he has misrepresented himself as a part in a civil action and breached the Texas Finance Code, Texas Criminal Code, Texas Finance Code Texas Finance Code 341-148. Misrepresented Texas Finance Code 341.148. Misrepresentation of part in civil action. You did. You did do that. You initially go in there and sue somebody when you had no jurisdiction to do so. So you owe. You do owe. And that everybody's name that you fucking kicked out during that time from August 1st of 2013 to August 1st of 2014, you owe them. The courts have their names. They're in the files. In the cases that I've already referenced, Supreme Court case, Mike Wills versus Bliss Parish Department 16-0037. Secretary of Appeals 02-16-00232. That's Charlie Victor. Also in Tarrant County Court Law Number 1, case number 2014-002602-1. Right. 2014-002-602-1. Tarrant County Court of Law Number 1. Okay. Well, those names that you owe are in there. Okay. Including mine. You owe. Judge Kernot knows. Not Judge Kernot, but Judge Chuck. The District Court Judge, 141st District Court, he knows. You have citations as list pendings. And all those companies of your fuckery, where you are the bluffs, Threshold Bluffs, that's your registered agent. That's your name, right, Trump? It is. Threshold Bluffs, you the bitch. Okay? Threshold Bluffs was in the middle of everything. The Bluffs Parish Creek Apartments, Post Oak Bluffs Parish Apartments, 37 Post Oak. All these names, entities, I traced them through from Texas, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, Iowa. Iowa is where the nucleus is. Well, the whole Threshold capital is nothing but fucking a shithole. Right? That's what a shithole is. Fraudulent businesses. And what they do, they use RCC, Resource Capital. If you remember Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report, okay? Those companies right there, there was a special counsel where he had that meeting with the closed door meeting with the judge that about the ghost businesses. Those are your fucking businesses, Trump. Where you trace them to 712 Fifth Avenue, the Henry Bendel building, that's right across from Trump Tower. Those are your fucking business. And this relationship with you and Carter Page, who also has a business in that company, where the company names that he owns the management. We also, down in my family line, we have royalties that come from our families that they receive monthly, and that, so we have a security interest. That also, my whole family line. Yeah, they do. And we're going to get it. So all that bullshit that you own up there, the shit that you take from the oligarchs, we all have a security interest in every fucking item, every property, every money, every bank account, a dollar that they have recovered from all 12 of the oligarchs. Okay? Right, we have security interest in every last one of it. And you're going to pay for it. That's no reason for me to lie. I'm not lying about shit. Okay? I know where it is. General Motors. You're to be charged criminally. GM Financial, criminally. Marshall Police Department, criminally. Specifically, your racist ass, Lieutenant Ames, where evidence suggests that the killings from the pictures I showed this morning for Braylon Williams. You guys thought my name was Williams, didn't you? Right, it threw you off, but Braylon was in there. But the picture I shared on Facebook today, where it shows myself, my cousins, Anthony and Jimmy Mills Jr., okay, Derek and Tars and Eric Wilder, Carlos Wilson, okay. Those are my first cousins, okay. Their mothers and Deetra and Brenda, all of them, they moved from Marshall. Why? Because of Ames' fuckery. Ames, I suspect that Ames, just from what I've learned since I've been back here, 2016, Lieutenant Ames, you need to be investigated for the shooting of Braylon Williams. You do. You need to be investigated for the shooting of the guy down there on November 28th. Look at the latter end of November 28th of 2017. 2017. I came down in February 2016. November 2017. Where there was a guy down here on Grafton Street that killed. Ames, you can investigate for that also. You wanna know why you stayed away from me, Ames? Because it was from that picture you realized that those faces that's in there, okay? And what you didn't know was that if you ran any type of facial recognition, try to find out who I was at any time, you look for the wrong person. And actually, you did thought you had a beat on me, you still had it fucking wrong because you're a dumbass. Right. You were being investigated for Braylon Williams fucking murder. And that your little line of network, all the way stemming back from 2011, 2013, Channel Little, all that, your little fucking Klansman network. That's how it all blows together. All the way up to fucking Trump, your bitch ass. You couldn't find me. You couldn't find me. I know how to hide. Okay? You look up Michael Wilson from the porch, that's gonna be all lost. Okay? But when you ran facial recognition, but then there's a red bell that goes off somewhere in one of these agencies that you don't really want to fuck with. Okay? That they got the word. They were really looking at you. Right, they want to know why, okay? But guess what? Your inquiry, because you're a dumbass, okay? And because this fucking dumbass fucking judge down here, his redneck cracker ass, Joe Black, he needs to be arrested. Ames needs to be arrested. Joe Black needs to be arrested. They do. Joe Black threatens me. My mom had a friend. My mom had a friend, Miss Virgin. Her daughter Hazel, Beverly, Deborah, and Herman. Herman drowned years earlier. That's when we were kids. Okay. I went to court because every now and then, if you heard on my Facebook page, particularly around the latter end of 2017 to 2018, you'll see that there were several posts I put up. I don't do a lot of talking because of some of the things I've done, and that at that time, if you recall that during Hillary Clinton's concession speech, Senator Clinton, when she lost the fucking Trump bitch ass, okay, which when she was the first president's debate, where she was talking about Trump up, trickle down, okay, what she was trying to reference, okay, was about the monopolistic style, but there was not enough time for me to brief her or brief her team into understanding what downstreaming was, or how it all moved together. Okay, the information is too late. Had I had a month or so, she would have been president instead of Trump. She would have. Hillary Clinton. When Hillary Clinton gave her concession speech, and Senator Clinton, you can confirm this if you want to. Okay, I already know what time it is. I know. Okay, when she was saying that there are people in the intelligence community that need to come out and make themselves known. Well, you didn't know what I looked like, and what they threw it off down here and separated the two between each other was that I didn't let anybody know what I looked like. Okay, and the Detecting Terrorism America, if you look at the profile picture, it shows a picture of Fast Company where that was our unit. Okay, in order to find out who we were, you know, you have to require need to know. Okay, I was talking about last night about Mare Island. Mare Island is, if you have any knowledge about California history, you would know that Mare Island is it's the island that sits off the mainland of California, and I think it's Sonoma or Solano. I can't remember what county it is, but the city is Vallejo. Vallejo was the capital of California before it was Sacramento. It's where Mare Island is where the Zodiac was supposedly stationed. Okay, which is the CB. I believe it's the CB. And I'm not even going to specifically on why I believe that. Okay, because it's really not relevant to this issue. Okay, but what's relevant here is that we have an ongoing conspiracy of what is looked like a witch hunt, as defined in the Salem witch trials, the 1620s, where witches, people suspect of practicing witchcraft, were chased around the city and prosecuted for suspicion of practicing witchcraft or black magic. That's what that means. Okay, this is a witch hunt where Trump's organization, which I define and describe as a government-affiliated, state-directed. It was the first government-affiliated, state-supported terrorist organization. Government-affiliated, state-directed terrorist organization. Now, him and Putin, I don't know who you like more, Trump, Putin, or Kakares, Ken Paxton, who also needs to go to jail, along with Trump. Needs to go to jail. They do. Ken Paxton, when I sued Threshold Paradise LP in case number in the 67th Judicial District Court with Judge Crosby is the, how you doing? Okay, well, Judge Crosby is the presiding justice in case number 067299251-18. Stand by, next second. Hi. Let my, I have a dog. Oh, come on, Bubba. Come on. Come on, out. Come on. Okay, come on. I had to let him out. He was hot, and so he wanted to go inside. And so I just keep him on the chain so he can go into the house. But I let him come inside the door and just sit there in the air conditioning to cool off. However, back to what I was saying in case number 0. Oh, I got something underneath the door. It's a rock or something. Okay, there it is. I don't know what it's a rock. But anyway, 067299251-18, 67 District Court, where Threshold Paradise LP, or the parties, Mike Wilson versus Threshold Paradise LP, and the other party is unknown. Technically, under Texas law, Judge Cosby, through your fuckery, Trump, where Okaka is a fucking Ken Paxton, who authorized a tax amnesty program. After Trump comes back and re-registers this Threshold Paradise LP in a dead man's name, Patrick Kelly. He's dead. The only Patrick Kelly that I can narrow down from a serious search, many databases, the identity of the person that could possibly qualify to electronically sign, which is improper, which is notwithstanding. To electronically sign a document in the state of Texas, First off, you have to have a unsworn declaration, sworn to under penalty of perjury, as required under Texas Civil Practice Remedies Code, Rule 132. Rule 132. Look it up. Okay, which it doesn't have to be notarized. Okay, even if you have an attorney, they're disqualified from signing that. Okay, and the signature that you have there is improper, which means that anything that you have, even your fucking notice that you signed, where Station 37 Apartment Homes, who hid out in the first case that I filed against them, 4:14-04-0337-Y, which was dismissed because I couldn't effectuate service because of their fucking bullshit, where they hid out and didn't acknowledge anything but Special Paradise. But then after Trump's bullshit intimidated all the judges and everything down here in Tarrant County, dismissing shit and half-ass want to prosecute, half-ass allow me to prosecute shit, which all that material, including the application for writ of quo warranto, which was filed May 18th, on about May 18th, 2019, a week or two before my dad was killed, which was witnessed by my neighbor who was in the truck with me at that time. We was riding through the hailstorm, riding through the tornado storm and all the rain. That's on Facebook. Look it up, for real. Tyler Brightman. They threw Tyler in the fucking lake. There's no fucking way in the hell that Tyler, on June 22nd of 2019, 3 weeks after my father's death, there's no fucking way that he made it all the way to the Lake of the Pines. My neighbor called me after his grandfather told me. His grandfather was talking to my neighbor. His neighbor called me around about 4:30 in the afternoon. When I just talked to Tyler about 4:15. There's no fucking way that Tyler made it all the way to fucking the Lake of the Pines. And it was reported that his body was in the water. No, it fucking was not. There's no fucking way that could have happened. This fucking Lieutenant Ames, this Klansman down here, all this bullshit, it's fuckery. It's bullshit. Right, it's a fucking witch hunt. You can't get close to me because I ain't that user friendly. Yeah, and Tyler, I always tell him, say, man, don't be bringing people over your house like that. I can tell him how to work his house. One night I got so fucking mad where he was bringing all these people over to his house after just meet him on the internet. I fucking started laying on my horn in my truck. I'm serious. So I sat there for about 30 minutes blowing my fucking horn, trying to wake his grandpa up. Tell him, get the fucking people out of your house. And then days later, his body was pulled from the lake. After I just talked to him 15 minutes earlier, and I had a witness here that can also confirm that there was not enough time for him to get all the way from fucking Marshall to the fucking Lake of the Pines. And it's already reported that his body was being pulled from the lake. There was a party that was on one of his cousins or whoever it was, who was arguing with me, trying to say, oh, well, on behalf of the family, it's his aunt, this and the other. I'm like, hold on a second. After arguing with her for about maybe an hour or so, going back and forth, volleying back and forth with text messages and posts on Facebook, where she come on my post and try to chastise me and criticize me for being disrespectful after his body was being found. When I just seen, I made a comment. I said, "How the fuck?" And my comment was, I said he had just enough time to try. I said he would have to have driven up to the lake very fucking fast and just jump straight into the water for it to happen that early. So basically, a volley occurred back and forth, me and Tyler, me and this lady, or whoever it was, on the other end. I never even really took the time to really pinpoint you, okay? But the intelligence community is, okay? Even though that post is not on my Facebook site at this time for some reason, because I didn't delete it, okay? And that can be retrieved. and it is being retrieved. That's a whole lot of other instances. Come over here. Come on. Get over there. Come here. Over here. No, over here, fuckface. Hey, come on, man. Hey, come on. BJ, move. Get the fuck over here. Go. Come on. Come on. Over here. What did I fucking say, you dumb fuck? Move over here. Move. Move. Get over there. I'm not animal abuse. I'm not even fucking. That's him. Move. Get over there. No, stay over there. You took my shit up. Okay? Sit down. Good. Okay? Alright, so, however, there's some bullshit that's going on. And, they thought my name was Williams. Okay? And when it comes down to time to find out my last name was Wilson, you couldn't get a hold of me, so what do? I go to court, Westdale Asset Management, on July 8th of 2017. If you notice, there is a case. There's the conversation about my November. Yeah, it was. I bought one in December of 2014, and then 6 months later, I bought the other one in June. So the case that was filed on or about November, I want to say November 9th or so, where 4 hours later there was a terrorist attack in Paris on that date, and that's kind of court of law number 2. The case number is the case number is CC-15-05-05747-B. CC-15-05747-B. This is subsequent to another case that was CC-15-0490. That was the eviction case from Woodland Hills versus Michael Wilson. Well, then I came back and sued Woodland Hills and Lumicore because at that time my friend Courtney, right, who his friend, get over here, come over here, dude, come over here, right here, like stay right there, stay there. At the time, Courtney was supposedly. Well, he was charged with murder when he hadn't killed anybody. Or some fucking bullshit. They come over. Courtney's light skin. Okay, the witnesses that say that shot these people, he was fucking. They describe him as a big, dark-skinned black dude. Courtney is high yellow. How the fuck can that be confused? Courtney, they were trying to find out where I was. At the time this motherfucking murder took place, I see his picture. So my first instinct, you gotta go clear your name. So Courtney went and turned himself in, and so he stayed in jail 5 years before they even convicted him. This is subsequent to him being, just with through my assistance or whatever, and a good friend, and looking out for him. Okay, he was able to. He had 47 felonies at that time. 47 felonies, and I don't know, probably twice as many misdemeanors. That he, most time he had ever spent locked up was 6 months or something like that. And then even then at that time he was in a treatment program. So. The murder case was the only one that I had no use in, had no success in helping him with. Okay. However, the person that was riding with him as a heckle, and the same day, June 5th, that my same anniversary date that my cousin was captured, along about the same anniversary date. Years later, of that my father being killed. Okay, Courtney, his co-defendant Jeremiah Robinson, Okay, maybe since 45 years. If you ever heard in my video, Frump's nigger like filtration system. And yeah, I changed the name. I said Frump. For years, you probably heard me say Frump. Fraud Trump equals Frump. Okay, I did that just to heckle him. Okay, where also I did that just to not just say Trump. Okay, well, for years, subsequent to, and the reason why I changed cars in 2015, I must say this, when I changed cars in 2015, that was a moment during the latter end of June of that year, when all this bullshit started to come about. I started having breakdowns subsequent. This is breakdowns in the other apartment when I moved back to Urban for Euless and shit out. I bought a brand new car, a brand new furniture and everything. After getting the retroactive payment. Okay, I get a phone call from Courtney one night. He comes like about 4 a.m. and he wants to come to my house. And so, you know, I just went and picked it up because I was, everyone, I don't know, he's just like a magnet for trouble. So I went and picked him up. And when I left my apartment, of course, I was by myself. And I come back in, there's a guy running through the parking lot who essentially, eventually, later, ended up right next door to, right adjacent to my car. I have a Z. It's a two-seater. The windows are tinted. You can see it inside. But it's like 4:30 in the morning. This motherfucker's running. It's June. It's fucking hot as fuck outside. So why are you outside? Why are you outside running around with a hoodie on? He comes up. He's all sweating and shit. I'm looking at this motherfucker weirdo standing next to my fucking car. I let the window down. What the fuck you want? At the same time, I had my fucking gun in my hand. But Courtney jumps out the other side of the car, and he takes out after the guy. The guy hauls ass and runs. Days later, more breakdowns in my apartment where the management just so voluntarily, they come up and they offer me the keys to, you know how you go look at an apartment, they show you the show apartment. Oh, over here it's such and such, and over here you have this and that and other, this and that and other, the model apartment. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Okay. All right. Can you give me like 3 minutes? Let me end this real quick. Okay, all right. Just come back when you're done. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right. So basically, back to what I'm saying is that when they gave me the loan apartment, okay, the first night I stayed in there, I heard something, but I'm almost sleeping with my firearm. I sleep with it, right? Especially at that time, after what I just went through over there in the other apartments. I was sleeping with a firearm. I heard someone walking in there. So, but the next night, the next day rather, I sent an email to the management and say, look, when are you going to get my shit fixed? I need to, be back to my apartment. Alright, but they couldn't get in my apartment because same thing I did in the Bucks Ferris Creek, in this apartment also, I changed the locks. You couldn't get in. So if you want to get in, you got to break in. So I know you have been in there. Okay, so you couldn't get in. Alright, so I said, okay, Courtney. I had Courtney come over and stay with me. And usually Courtney, he's a pretty cool kid. But we always talk about, I was telling different stuff that I did, and we talk about terrorism and stuff like that. And you have to understand a lot about street shit, okay? Because I grew up in a church family, okay, and I wasn't exposed to, even though as a child, my mom was a single parent. We lived in the projects, okay, but still at that time I was still disciplined, and I stayed a lot of time with my grandparents, so I still had good roots coming up. Basically, I wasn't a troublemaker, never been. However, Courtney helped me understand a lot of street stuff, because even though that I did all the month and a half after graduated high school, I went straight to military and stayed all those years, and I got out. I working for federal government for a little bit, and so even though the job was dealing with street-ish people, you know, it was a particular approach that we had to use, that we did use, and I just didn't like that job. And so when shit got really too complicated, and I felt that there was some issues going to occur, I came back home to Texas. And at that time, that, you know, no one knew where I was, and to find out, it was complicated. So that's the reason why the picture from I shot earlier today, me and my cousins in Grayling, okay, that I feel was and if you really want to know, I am going to elaborate on why I think Lieutenant Ames, the fucker that stole my fucking drone, he needs to be arrested. Joe Black, you need to be arrested. Ken Paxton, you need to be arrested. Ken Paxton, you already have charges pending. Ames, you're under investigation, which you've been under investigation for many years. Okay. The bullshit that occurred on August 1st, 2018, where you raced these cars through the street as a dragnet trying to lure me out. And what busted your bubble was when I posted along my look on my Facebook site. It says on that date at about between 1400 and 1430, I put on Facebook that the drone was coming, and I wasn't coming. I had already been there. I followed the chief there, Chief and George Gill. George Gill, the chief, you drove a red truck. Okay, you was headed westbound on Alexander Street. You responded. You stopped your truck at the intersection of Alexander and Hugh Street. George Gill had his patrol car parked right behind him. I was in my truck behind George Gill. But that's where you responded. Ames, your bitch ass, you was on the other side at 1602 Alexander Street. You and Officer Matarazza and Sawyer. You were facing eastbound on Alexander Street. When the drone landed, okay, the drone landed, it landed on the tree line intentionally, because that's what it's designed to do. It had obstacle avoidance. Once the drone lost signal from all the communication that jammed the frequency for the drone, when the drone left its point, it had 91% battery life. Okay, and we're down there, it hovered to watch you. But what you didn't know, that it was a waypoint drone. Okay, when the drone landed, it navigated intentionally down through the trees, and it ended up on the very lowest branch. Okay, and the reason why it didn't not land on your truck, fucking dumbass, is because that's what it intended to do. Okay, you were down there, you saw it coming. It saw you. It intentionally landed on the tree because there's a moving live object down there with thermal body heat that it can detect. The drone is designed to, when it has obstacle avoidance, to detect living animals, beings, any objects that is anything that would harm it. It's going to take care of itself. It intentionally landed on the tree. The tree that you broke. There's no way a Mavic Air drone that weighs less than 10 pounds, okay? There's no way, even if it's intentionally descended or whatever, it's not going to break a tree limb that is more than 6 inches in diameter, descended from the airspace. Okay, the spot on the tree where you broke it, it was quite close to the trunk or to the base of the tree. He didn't break it at the end of the limb. He broke it right at the base of the tree where the fucking trim leading has been. There's no way a fucking 5-pound a drone, Mavic Air, look it up, you can see the weight of it. It's less than 10 pounds, descended from the airspace, on its own, take care of itself. What it's designed to do. You can look up the nomenclature and all the characteristics for the drone that's published in proven by DJI, that's from China, okay, where the drone footage, it has a break in it, but however, it reactivated, and it has a video recording of a person picked up the drone subsequent to it being disturbed from its landing spot. If it moves any time after that, when the battery is still active, it is going to record you. It is. It wasn't a cheap. It's $900, but you wanna know what? At that time, on January, if you look on my Facebook site, there is a mention that the Texas Supreme Court on January 25th of 2018. So it was prior to that date. Okay, there was a friend of mine that was held in the jail where they locked him in a single cell by himself, or Kyle Dansby, his Klansman ass, or Cracker down there, who also needs to go to fucking jail, you bitch. Okay, where he and I, we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things, but he was representing my friend Kyrie Stinson, who was also a person who had kids, and he was going through all of this baby mama drama, deadbeat dad. Okay, same thing with Oscar Smith, deadbeat dad. That's what, you know, what the whole gist of this is. I don't have nothing personal against them. Okay, the only reason why they're deadbeat dads is because they couldn't, or they, you know, just from lack of employment. Okay, but they labeled that. Okay, this reality show, Ken Paxton, all you motherfuckers making fun of this reality show, deadbeat dad reality show. You did. You got caught, didn't you? You did. The violation for the rules, the violation that you charged with Ken Paxton for violating Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct. Substance of that is the reason why this fucking bullshit ass fucking reality show you guys made, locking these people up, making fun of them. Right, and you conspiratorially provide material support to a particular terrorist organization, where Trump is asking Putin for asylum. The news article yesterday says, Trump, if you run, we're not paying your legal expenses. Right, if you run to Putin, not run for president, because you're never going to get president. You're never going to get across the water. Like I said last night, the target walked straight into the trap because you are a fucking dumbass. You wanted to get reelected so fucking bad, that's why you had to go through all these extents, putting yourself in all kind of way, violating all these fucking articles of law that prohibits you, and where any reasonable person, especially someone who's in the position of being the fucking president, should be able to understand. But you had to fucking get reelected because you needed your plan to go through. Just like I stated in that video I was talking about in 2018, you see me driving down the truck where I'm talking about after he made this deal with the impeachment thing, the secret meeting, the money that they talking about, Trump, if you run, we're not paying your expenses, where he went and I told you about him giving all the money to the Republicans. Yeah, that's why he did. He gave the money for the Republicans to pay the legal expenses. They said that if you run, we're not going to pay him. Right, if you run to Putin, they're not going to pay him. He thinking that he was going to, if he didn't get reelected, he was going to go over to the seas, across the seas, across the water. You are a fucking dumbass. You are. And just to let you know, I already know that you, Trump, that several other particulars, that you are really in big trouble. You're in big trouble because, for one, when you delve too much and you do too much, as you usually do, because you're a fucking idiot, a piece of shit. You compromise a whole lot of other shit. And you're stop, get over here, come over here, come over here, come over here. Your actions and compromise what you shouldn't have been compromising. I don't give a fuck what your position is, what your your need to know. It wasn't you need to know. It didn't fit for what you need to know it for. And when you ask questions when you shouldn't, well then the people that you ask it to, then they are by law have to, they're required to inquire why you asked. I'm not gonna. This is just a retake of what I recorded this morning when I first woke up, and some things that I went through my mind. There's some other things I want to address right now, but this is just a chronological order, chronological of event. So that we break it down so that way that the details that I need to elaborate on by certain periods and specifics at certain points in time, that is easily to be sectioned off so that way that we could move along, because for me to go through and continue to tell everything in specifics, it would be from now until next week before I get done. Really, and I can go through and not be repetitive, not stumble on anything that I have to say to include all the cases. Okay, you can go look those cases that I already referenced. Okay, however, but today for the federal government to take notice. Okay, the federal government to take notice, judicial notice. Now, I'm not going to be continue. It's no reason why I should continue to be prosecuted for my efforts to promote peace and freedom, as cited in Holder versus Humanitarian Law Project. We can't let these motherfucking idiots continue to go through and enjoy their transgression or their fuckery. With the exception with their fuckery, see also Holder versus Humanitarian Law Project. Let me get off. Let me get off. May sound kind of Greek or be an enigma, something unexplained, because the explanations that are to be the parties that need to be explaining things are the parties that know that my dad was killed, or my dad is not known where his whereabouts are subsequent to the shooting incident that occurred on June 3rd. So whatever happened at about between subsequent to 1500 on June 3rd, 2019, is a mystery, because the details of what has occurred and what the events that took place subsequent to that, I can't substantiate until I know. I don't care if you got to excavate his body to see if it's there, to see if it's his, and that may well just be what happened. I just hate to say that. I want my dad to just rest in peace if he is deceased, and if his body is in that casket, which I have not determined whether it is or not. So no, I'm not losing my mind, but I haven't seen my dad in the casket, period. And I suspect some fuckery. And just from the response from the E4 request from the reference federal agencies that's already proven that I've been communicating with, that's on proof is on my website, your ass is in big fucking trouble. You got 13 fucking days before the trial starts. I've already talked to the DA. Okay, no, I am not available for comment. Not for personal comment anyway, because where I am right now, I'm comfortable here. You come over here, it's gonna be some fucking problem. Don't come over here unauthorizedly at all. Nobody. I mean, I ain't got my friends. My friends know. My friends, my friends are. But don't. But then, you know, I'm serious. Don't come here no fucking bullshit. And there's no threat. I don't have no animosity, no hate or nothing like that. Okay, but the fuckery, especially in the other part that you want to be concerned with is the severity of the allegations that I made last night, made known last night with the incident with Michael Johnson that occurred on or about July 8th. Michael Johnson shot all those officers up there in Dallas County, where I was supposed to be 50 yards from, or he was in the El Centro building. The bus that comes in, the bus that I was supposed to, the bus that I had a ticket on, where I bought intentionally to throw you off, where I wasn't going to go anyway, just to see what's going to happen, because I suspected something, and it did happen. So that's some fucking bullshit. So that means Lumicore, Westdale, all y'all to be investigated as such, and all the people with a fiduciary duty to react. Okay, you are commended to do so. Donald Trump is not to leave this country. Secret Service is to got to change your title to U.S. Marshal. He is not to leave this motherfucker at all. Period. Bottom line. Alright, so I'm going to go and just so you know that if you see me out and about, whatever, if you see me around, I don't have no hatred or nothing like that. I'm not no fucking dumbass. I'm not one of those who want to go through and be a weak-minded, want to cause a security issue or safety issue for anyone. I'm not a threat to the environment or myself or anyone else. I'm not. But as the address of this fuckery that's going on, it is going to be appropriately addressed, and it is not going to be something that's going to be just rushed through. Your ass is in big fucking trouble. You fucking redneck cracker ass motherfucker. You and Ames, your bitch ass. You think you're not going to produce much? You will produce that motherfucker. You will. You are going to. And the timing, it's just perfect. The incident from the retaliation between the two Oscars, yeah, you let his dad go, and then you go the very next day and you lock his fucking son up as collateral. Same thing we did to Larry Smith. He was they're trying to watch his son's trial, and you fucking charge him with all kind of terrorist threat from that fucking crack over there. I'm trying to think that fucking lawyer's name. Hush! Tell me hush, no motherfucker. And Ames, your bitch ass was sitting there in the fucking hallway. You had to that, and I think that was the description of what I had from you and what I've seen you from all the profiles and information I've been recovered, from the questions I already answered about you, okay, and the details from the people that have been interviewed about you while you've been on investigation. I mean, you think you ain't been investigated? You are fucking dumb. You are fucking a green out of the pickle. You've gotten away with all this bullshit for all these years. But it's time for you to fucking seek justice, bitch. You done fucking goddamn killed a lot of people. You've been involved with it. Yeah, it's fuckery. It's bullshit. You need to be locked up tonight, if not already. I know you guys had a fucking aircraft coming in from Austin. You think I know today? My intelligence is far greater than what you know. You can't get me on the phone. Alright, everybody, I didn't realize it was over 2 hours, but okay, I gotta take a break. Good night.